want to show you how you today I want to show you how you can easily fix a peeling valve from a kiteboarding bladder. Newer kites don't really have this problem, so all you need to do is get glue called aqua. It's a special glue for this kind of work, and if your valve has already peeled off, first step is to remove any glue if you have it. This valve just peeled off without any residue, so all I have to do is just clean it. This one is just hanging, so I need to detach it, and I'm gonna show you step by step how I fix those things. So the first thing that I do, in case the bladder is half detached, I make a mark on it so I know the location of this thing in relationship to the bladder. So mark it. Now on deflate valve, this has already detached, but I know that this has to be in this direction, so I'm gonna make a little mark so I know the relationship between this and this. So that's the first step. Now there's very important step, because we're gonna be applying the glue, and there are a bunch of holes over here. Most likely the glue will get in between both sides of the bladder. So in order to make sure that the bladders won't stick, I always put a little bit of the paper inside of the bladder, and until the glue dries out, I leave it in between the layers. So you can just unroll it like this, and the piece of paper is gonna be in between the layers, so even if the glue will get on the inside of the bladder, those two sides will not stick together. Once the process of fixing the bladder is done, we're gonna be able to remove the remaining papers through that hole on a deflate valve. Next step, make sure that we have a clean surface. If you feel there's any residual glue, remove it with the sandpaper or like a rasp or something. Same thing applies to this. So, and then use the alcohol swab or any alcohol to make sure this area is clean. Very important thing about aqua seal, that when you work with it, I just have to squeeze as much as you need, and then as soon as you're done, put it in a fridge. If you're not gonna do that, the aqua seal is gonna harden, and within a month it's gonna be garbage. I bought this one probably like a year ago, and now it just got a little soft. So I'm gonna squeeze as much as I need, and I'm immediately after I'm done, I'm gonna put it in the fridge, and it's gonna last me until I'm done with the tube. Right now I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of aqua seal on this surface, and I'm going to work with this part until I'm done, and I think it should be enough. And I'm going to close it right away, and I'm going to go and put it in a fridge, and it will last for the next couple of years. This will harden within 24 hours, so you don't have to worry about working fast. Now I'm gonna use something hard underneath the surface, so I have a nice and flat surface to work with. Make sure that the paper is also in the right location, and I have a nice and flat area. And I'm going to apply the glue, so I'm taking a little bit, and I'm gonna put it right here. If you put the glue on both surfaces, it will just stick better. I've tried putting that only on one surface, and then it was peeling off again after a while. So I've decided to do small, thin layers on both surfaces, and this way I'm getting a permanent bond, and no fixing after that is required. This is gonna be perfectly holding forever. working from the small batch that I just squeezed from the tube. And within about 3 hours it starts to harden a little bit, so then I go back to my bladder and I try to see if the paper is not stuck to the bladder on the other side. So usually I do it after about 3 hours. So I have a nice and even layer of the glue on this side. Okay, now so I'm gonna locate it, put it in the right spot, and this everything is gonna be moving. Now the most important part is I'm putting something like this right over this whole area, so the whole surface of this valve is gonna be pushed against the bladder. Putting another one on top, and now I'm going to clamp it on both sides. Now you can see that I just clamped this gently, and I have a flat surface on the bottom, something to push on from the top. You can also just put little weights on top if you're working with one valve. I'm working with two, so I need some flexibility, and that's why I decided to use the clamps. If I was fixing only one valve and you don't have clamps, you can just put something heavy on top, leave it for a couple of hours before the glue sets in, and that's basically it. It's really simple process. You can fix any valve. Now I have both valves clamped. I'm gonna wait about 3 hours, and after 3 hours I'm gonna unclap it gently and see if the glue didn't stick between the layers. So you can still have time, even if it did stick, to separate the bladders. It will take probably about 6 hours before it's really impossible to separate it. So it's been a couple of hours. Now I want to check how the valve looks like. So see, that's why I need to see a couple of hours. You need to separate it because this part got caught on, and now I can examine that everything's fine. The glue is already hardened, but not to the point where I cannot separate anything. And as you can see, the paper got stuck in the back, so I'm going to go and separate it. It still is not too hard. Now I'm gonna leave it. Now it's not going to stick, and the valve looks perfect, but it's only been a couple of hours. So I'm right now, when everything is separated, nothing is stuck, I'm gonna put it back together the way it was, with something hard in the back, and I'm gonna clamp it again, leave it clamped for 24 hours until everything is hardened. And now I'm gonna clamp everything back together, so it will give the time for the glue to set in and make a permanent bond. Now I'm gonna check the second one, I mean the first one that I did. Let's see how it looks. Okay, this got stuck a little bit more. Let's separate it with the can, because if I wait too long, then I'm not gonna be able to move anything. So this looks pretty good. It's already hardened. Let's separate the paper. Okay, paper is if you can't separate the paper, you can always just tear it apart, as fine. So there's gonna be a little bit of the paper on inside. It doesn't bother anything. Now the glue doesn't stick. I'm gonna put it back together. Okay, Good. Clamp it. Good. Okay, so I'm done with my valves. Everything seems to be fine. So now all I need to do is just wait 24 hours until everything dries out and the glue sets in, and I'm done. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye bye.